There's a new force sweeping through an old world.
The technology revolution is disrupting every industry in every way imaginable.
Companies need to future-proof themselves today purely because of the pace of change. And if they don't change, then they will not be able to survive or prosper in the new digital economy.
And so consequently, the challenge there really is to ask oneself questions without necessarily knowing the answer.
Today, every established business is searching for a way to navigate an uncertain future.
The question in the context of disruption that I think that's really important is to say, which parts of the business are probably already obsolete, but have you actually faced up to it, or are you avoiding facing up to the fact that that part of the business is disrupted and obsolete?
The music industry has faced 2 decades of disruption. Digital technology has reduced the revenue of music labels. Sony Music realized they couldn't rely on old solutions.
I think we've had to recognize that to get to progress and to continue to have a place in the ecosystem of music going forward and to be able to continue doing what we do, we've needed to take a good, long, hard look at ourselves and kind of evolve.
Change is now happening at such rapid speed that really coming to terms with this is almost a daily exercise of understanding what the new technologies are that are now available to one's industry.
For some, the answer is to co-opt potential competition. The 3 major labels own nearly 20% of streaming service Spotify. But the digital age often demands more creative responses to increasingly unlikely sources of disruption.
I have 1.8 million on Twitter, 1.5 million on Facebook, 1.2 million on Instagram.
18-year-old musician Jacob Whiteside's meteoric rise thanks to social media reflects the latest threat to music labels.
The fans have just really, they're more powerful than most any bit of promotion that you can buy.
Established industries have had to adapt quickly to a situation where they no longer hold all the cards. Social media stars like Jacob can strike better deals with music labels.
Don't think a business can protect itself from the convergence that's happening. It's happening. You don't actually know where your next competitor is coming from. What businesses can do, though, is start to really invest in the future.
When tech companies like Google started developing driverless cars, Ford responded by making their own.
It's really important for us to look at societal trends because it's about having one foot in today, but also one foot in tomorrow and understanding what is that world going to look like 5, 10, and 15 years from now. We're looking at some of these new enabling technologies. There's a huge opportunity. So things that we're seeing around mobility, around connectivity or vehicles as they become part of the Internet of Things, we want to collaborate with that community, but importantly, we want to be viewed as part of the community and not just some transactional partner that flies in and buys a technology or something like that.
For incumbent players in a particular industry, whether that's automotive or whether it's in life science or whether it's in energy companies, it's a really tough ask at the moment. You have to continue to build your existing revenue streams in your traditional heartland of revenue. And what I'm finding companies do are actually taking a separate company and setting that up in order to allow that to flourish with greater freedoms to create the revenue streams of the future.
E.ON has taken a very brave step. We broke the company, I would say, in 2. All the commodity businesses, the traditional fossil power plants, all those businesses, we spin off into a company called Uniper, and we are remaining with renewables.
It's very important for companies to really recognize and understand where they are at in terms of their skill sets and in their capabilities in order to effectively invest and build in the future.
Oil and gas giant Statoil are using past expertise to help secure their place in the growing renewable energy industry.
It's always exciting. It's the first floating full-scale windmill in the world. I think it actually makes some sense that it was an oil and gas company that came up with this, because we are reusing a lot of technology from the oil and gas sector.
Companies today need to look for partners in brand new areas. It is about building an ecosystem. It is about engaging with your employees, with startups, vendors, their suppliers, and also their customers.
Yeah, hip hop lift, San Francisco, California.
In the car industry, US giant General Motors invested $500 million in 4-year-old ride-hailing startup Lyft.
You take hardware and manufacturing operations of General Motors and you pair that with the network and system and almost operating system capabilities of Lyft, and it's really a step towards what the future looks like.
Unless people manage their response to disruption, to technology, to innovation very deliberately, they're losing control. There is no other way, there is no option. It is essential.
Personally, I think those that are looking for the opportunities will see a very different world and a very different way of working, and opportunities are endless.